الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Come over this way, some guys. Both of you. All 7 of you guys. 8 of you guys. Okay. Just in case somebody comes and wants to stop him. So Alhamdulillah, today we're dealing with Al-Istithna. We come to the end of Al-Ajrumiyah. Okay? We'll come to the end of it. This is the largest chapter, and it's not that hard. People sometimes get intimidated when they get to the larger chapters, but we're going to break it down real easy for everybody to understand Al-Istithna. Say that? Al-Istithna. Al-Istithna means exception. Al-Istithna, it means exceptions. In Arabic, it means al-ikhraj. It means to take something and to kick it out of the general rule. Okay? Let me give you an example. Everybody came to the masjid except shaitan.
Except the shaitan.
Be quiet. Except shaitan. Okay? Now, we kicked shaitan out of the ruling of came to the masjid. You guys get it?
Yes, sir.
Everybody came to the masjid. But except shaitan means we kicked him out of coming to the masjid. So we call that an exception or al-istithna. You understand that? And the way we show istithna is through certain words. These are the words of al-istithna, this first line. Follow me. Illa wa ghayra wa siwan suwan sawa khalla ada wa hasha al-istithna hawa. Wasiwa, say siwa. Suwa, siwan. Khalla ada wa hasha al-istithna. Hawa means encompasses. Encompasses. Which means this completes or encircles the letters or the words of istithna. Okay? But that's not necessarily, well, yeah, it is. These are the words of istithna. Okay, you got that? Say illa wa ghayra siwa suwa sawa khalla or khala ada wa hasha al-istithna. All these are the words. These are the words that we are going to use in the Arabic language to make exception. Okay? To negate something that comes after this word. Okay? Like in the sense of ghayru. Okay? Now, I just want you to get accustomed to them one more time. Illa wa ghayra wa siwa suwan siwa khalla ada wa hasha al-istithna hawa. Illa wa ghayra wa siwa suwa sawa khalla wa ada wa hasha al-istithna hawa. Okay? Now, that's what we have to do. That's why your memorization properties have to be up to par. Okay? Now, al-istithna is done in 3 different ways. Okay? Al-istithna is done in how many different ways?
3 different ways.
Okay, in the first way, when there is a complete sentence, complete thought, okay? And then after that, you say illa. Then you put the illa. Okay, the word illa. At that point, then you have a way, one of the ways we're going to do this is going to be nasbun. Okay? We'll say nasbun. You guys understand that? We have a complete sentence, and then we have what? Illa. The word that comes after illa is going to be what? Nasbun means what? Fatha, right? Or what comes in the place of fatha, which is this word right here. Fakih. You see how your first lessons come into play? What does fakih mean? It means a fatha alifun, kasra or ya, wa hadfu noon falladhi fathu bihi alamatul nasbi, yada, nuhal nasbihi. So, we have to understand this. For the most part, you'll see a fatha though, okay? I'm going to need somebody to help me erase the board a lot because I got a lot to write here. So I want you to erase this right here. I'm going to give you, that's one way. Complete sentence, then illa, then the word that comes after illa is going to be nasbun. I'll give you example. Faki. Okay? Watch this right here. What we're going to do now is this one right here. Ata, say ata, an-nasu. So this is a complete sentence, right? Ata nas, the people came, right? I'm sorry, atani nas. Atani nas, the people came to me, right? Illa amran. You see that? Except amran. You see, so this is complete. The people came to me, right? Illa. So the illa comes after a complete. Right? So then amrun has to be nasbun. And so he has fatha at the end of it, and that's a sign of nasbi, right? You guys understand me? That's one way. A second way that the istithna comes is when it comes in the sentence is not complete. I'm sorry. It's complete, but it has a negation. You guys get it? It says, in kana a nafyu tamaman haliyun, but it has nafyu. For example, complete sentence, but it's a negation. Negation. Okay, so it's a complete negation type sentence. Okay? Okay, so then in this case right here, so then we have ibdal. The first one we're going to do is ibdal. Ibdal. And this usually means it's going to be in the dhamma case. Okay? Because it's going to be in a place of where it was in the first place. For example, let me give you the example that they came. Lam yakum. Say lam yakum. Lam yakum ahadun. Ahadun. Lam yakum ahadun. Illa. And if we make ibdal, do you guys remember badal? In your lessons? Badal means to take the place of something else, right? To exchange it, right? So we're going to make badal of ahadun. And so if we're going to use amrun again, right? Let's use amrun. We say illa amrun. Amrun, okay? And now in this case, amrun is badal for ahadun. Okay? It's badal. Say badal. Meaning it's taking the ruling from ahad. You guys with me? Yes, sir. It's taking the ruling from, so lam yakun ahadun, right? Illa amrun. Meaning no one stood except amrun. So it's like saying amrun stood. And since amrun stood, he is dhamma, right? In place of where ahad. That's one side. That's A. B, in the same sentence, complete negation sentence, instead of making ibdal here, we leave it as it was and we put it on as nasbun, right? And why? Because nasbun, on the case that it is al-istithna. So it can be nasbun because it is istithna. You guys get me? Yes, so we say what? Lam yakum ahadun illa what? No. Amran. Because that's nasbun, right? Why is it nasbun? Because it has fatha. No, of course, yes. It's nasbun because it has fatha. Okay, but why does it have fatha? Because what? Because it's istithna. And istithna, aslan, originally, istithna has what? Nasbun, right? So you can leave it on its nasbun and say, lam yakum ahadun illa amran. So what comes after illa is fathun. You understand that? Or you could make it dhamma, right? Not because it's istithna, because it's taking the ruling of ahadun. You guys understand that? So what we used to do when we were students, if we were making the sentence, we would always make it what? Because we're safe, right? And we didn't have to figure out anything when it was difficult for us. And we knew we would always be correct because aslan and nasbun is what? I mean, the istithna is what? Nasbun. You guys with me? So I'm trying to make this simple for you. This is A and B. Ditto. These lines here mean ditto. What does ditto mean? It means whatever's above it, we take in that same sentence and putting it here. So it's by putting this here, and I hope I'm not insulting anyone, but by putting this little line here, it means complete negation sentence also, right? We make it nasbun. You guys with me? Instead of me having to write it all out, because the Arabs love what? And since we're teaching Arabic class, we're using abbreviation. Okay, you guys with me? Okay, and then the third one, if it is incomplete sentence. When you have an incomplete sentence, then you didn't, it's not mentioned any there, the mustafna doesn't come to the end, then we do it bil al-marfu'. Okay? No, I'm sorry. Then the istithna is going to be bihasaba. Wherever بحسب يكون إعرابه إعرابها. Okay? بحسب إعرابها. Okay? So here what's going to happen, the i'rab of it is going to be wherever it happened to be in the sentence. You guys follow me? Watch. So here you have a different case. I'm going to push this over here. All right? Let me explain. We have an incomplete sentence. Right? And then we mention illa. Before the sentence, the complete thought is done. So in this case, don't think about nasbun in khafdun, or I mean nasbun or ibdal. What's going to happen is the illa is not going to affect the placement, how we affect the word that comes after it. For example, look. First one, this incomplete sentence. Incomplete sentence. The first one is like this. Ma, say it with me. Ma. Hada. Illa. Now this is a complete sentence?
No, sir.
No, sir. No one gave guidance except. No one guided except. Is that complete? No. So, who's the one that gave a guidance? No, we're talking about humans. Muhammad, right? So it's Muhammadun. You understand? Illa Muhammadun. Why? Because Muhammad, he is the one that gave guidance. Okay? And since it was an incomplete statement, the place for Dhammatain right now would be marfu'an. Okay? Because he's fa'il, the one who did the action. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So that's in that case. In the secondary case, it would be like, let's say maf'ulun bi. See, look. Ma, the second type, say ma, which no one did not, abattu, ma abattu, I did not worship, illa. Now, is this a complete sentence? I did not worship anything except. What did I worship? Allah. Is it Allahu, Allahi, Allah? Why Allahu? Is Allah the actor? So then it's not Allahu. Is it Allahi? Because they have to have a harful khafdi to make it Allahi, right? So what is the maf'ulun bi, guys? Al-fatha, maf'ulun bi. The object of the verb. This is the verb. This is the verb. This is the actor too, meaning I, right? Then this is the exception. I did not worship except, who did I worship? Allah. Right? Because Allah is the object of abada. Okay, you understand? So this is, now I made the i'rab of it. Now this one, because it doesn't make a difference what the illa comes as. Because the incomplete sentence, the i'rab is going to be wherever it has to be. Let's give you a third example. The third example I'm going to give. Hal yaludhu al-abdu That's a long sentence. Let me give you a shorter one. Give me this one. ما مررت إلا ب. Okay? I did not مررت I did not pass by anyone except I did not pass by except by who? Let's say, let's make up a name. Let's make up a name of anybody you want to. Zayd. Illa bizayd. Okay? Now, what is it? What kind of Zayd is it?
Zaydin.
Why?
Because of the B.
Right. Illa bizaydin. You understand that, guys? Ma marartu illa bizaydin. I didn't pass anyone except Zayd. Right? Or here we might say, and I only passed by Zayd. So here, in this type of sentence right here, it's kasratain. In here, it's fatha. In here, it's dhamma. Because these are incomplete sentences. You guys understand that?
Yes, sir.
This is basically the whole thing of istithna. Three things you have to, okay, and I'm sorry, there's a fourth thing that you have to understand. The fourth one is in dealing with ghayru, wa khala, wa ada, wa hasha, and this type of thing. Because we just dealt with illa. Erase the board, please. That was all with illa. You saw we just did that? Everything we did right here was just dealing with illa. Now I'm going to give you the rulings dealing with this, not that other stuff. Don't worry about that stuff on top. Take everything else off. Okay? Now we're going to deal with the other aspects of this. Okay? Because now here we have to deal with these things that are mustathna with these other words. Come on, man. Good help is hard to find. You know, I don't know what we're going to do.
No.
Didn't I say good help? Yeah, keep erasing the board. Keep erasing the board. If he didn't know martial arts, I would fight. And here we're going to do this again just so we can get this down. Khala, hada, wahasha, istathna, hawa. Okay? So, this is 6, 7, 8. We dealt with illa, right? We finished with illa, right? Now we have to deal with ghayru wa suwa, sawa, khala, ada, wa hasha, istithna, hawa. Now with these, we did 3 rulings surrounding illa. Now with the rest of these words, what we have to realize is very simple. Okay? It's going to be, as far as بغير والسوى سوى سواء, the حكمه مجرور بإضافة, like مثال ذلك is going to be like قام. Everybody follow me? قام القوم. قام القوم غير زيد. Okay? وجاء الناس جاء الناس سوى عمرو. So what we have here is that when you find these words here, غير وسوى سوى سواء, you're going to find that these words right here, the hukmuhu is majroor. What comes after it has to be kasra. You understand that? Yes, sir. When you deal with it, what comes after it has to be what? Kasra. وانصب والجر ما بحاشا أي لك أن في المستثنى بحاشا وخلا وعادة النصب أو الجر. So here, when we deal with khala, wa ada, wa hasha, these three words, here we have, say, khala, ada, and hasha. You have two things that you can do here. What you can do is you can make what comes after it have kasra, right? Or you can make what comes after it have fathatan. Okay, fatha. You know why? Because these are considered huruf, say huruf, and they're also considered af'al. So what that means is, if you consider them a fi'lun, then the word that comes after it is going to be nasbun. Okay? And if you consider it a harf from the huruf, then what comes after it is going to be khafdun. Khafdun, or jar, if you want to call it jar or khafd, either way, right? Which means kesra, or what comes in its place. What we used to do to make it easier on us, we used to consider them all khafdun. I mean, all of them huruf, and deal with them a khafdun. Why? Because we never have to worry about it, right? Make it easy on yourself. That's when we were making the sentences. But when we were making the i'rab, we would recognize the capabilities of someone else considering it nasbun. Okay? Does that make sense? We just went over, we didn't do the poem. We didn't do the poem, but I want you all to think about this, and then now we can do the poem. Does that make sense? We did it this way. It gave you a general thing. Now we'll go through the poem, diqqatin, and I think it'll make easier sense for you. Do you have any questions now? No? Yes? Maybe so? Okay. How much time? What do we do? I'm going to stop here. And next time we come there, we'll do the poem. And that way this would have settled in your head and you can get it a lot more ease. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي. I'm sorry, you had a question? Yes, sir. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم. تفضل.